Hello, everyone. Welcome out into the universe. My name is Heather. I will be your hostess with the mostest. But of course, I am never alone. My first co-host, their favorite hobby is fine dining, making money. And she is forever a sorority girl, a lifelong student, aviation enthusiast, and a wannabe chopped champion. Most importantly, Barack Obama follows her on Twitter. It's Andrea Lyons. Hello, how are you?
You know what? I'm doing fabulous today. I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm well. I am doing well. It is Friday. The weather is beautiful. Hashtag global
Gorgeous.
warming, but it's beautiful. And I'm happy to have you. And of course, it's just not you and I, right? We always have a trifecta here. So my second co-host is a movie enthusiast, Netflix binger, an adventure seeker, and a cat lover because she takes her cat on walks and stroller. It's Isabell.
Hello, and it is a good day outside, so who knows, might be taking the cats for a walk today.
Happy to have you both here. All right, so we are going to kick things off, kind of pun intended, because our trending topic is the Super Bowl. Exactly. So show of hands from my co-host, how many of you watched the Super Bowl this past Sunday?
I watched like a little bit of it, and I watched the halftime show, and I watched the final touchdown. I don't know.
You go. That's the word. That's awesome. I am not a huge sports fan, but I have every year have always taken time out to watch the halftime show. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. I love live performances. The music is always fantastic. And this year held up to that. So some people watch the Super Bowl. I don't, that's fine. But what's awesome is, according to New York Times, this year's game was shown on several different channels. So we have NBC, Telemundo, Peacock, NBC Sports Digital, NFL, digital platforms, Yahoo Sports, and other streaming services, okay? So NBC peaked at 104 million viewers midway through the game, and on average, it was 99 million viewers, up from 4% from last year. Isn't that wild? Crazy. The halftime concert, if you weren't aware, included Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and 50 Cent. Good jams. Good jams. Which was an increase of 7% from last year, which is last year's performance was the weekend. And I have to say, I don't even think I watched that one. But this year was magical. So I'd like to ask my co-hosts and the people watching, how long do you think it took to set up such a grand show? What do you think?
Well, just knowing how tightly based the time frame is for the Super Bowl, I feel like it was probably lightning speed. So
lightning speed. So according to Patrick Baltzwell, my friend Patrick Baltzwell, he's a sound engineer for most of the most watch events, including the Super Bowl. It only took 6 minutes. 6 minutes from the end of the second half to the beginning of the halftime show for them to set up this gigantic cruise line ship in the middle of that, in the middle of the field there. Isn't that crazy? The planning timeline from start to finish roughly is about 8 months. So from September, the halftime talent is selected, kept a secret. And then September to November, once the songs have been selected, then they build out the scenery, the cast. So in AAP language, they DDIC, design, decor, and install. And then we have our speaker captains for all of our clients out there. You know what I'm talking about? And then they build around that. Are there going to be any kids? So, explicit content. Will there be a marching band, backup dancers? What do we want to include that's bigger and better than last year? What was bigger and better? Mary J. Blige. Let me tell you, she was fabulous. No more drama. Anyways, December, the event is locked. It's our lock date. And then late January, early February is the big show. So we are going to cue up a short clip of the performance. Take a look. It's pretty awesome. All of our favorites are on there. Well, my favorites. 50 Cent hanging upside down.
Ray, yeah, and
Okay, I also
Eminem.
loved everyone.
But also Eminem, right? Like that's the one.
Exactly.
It's the one and only Digo Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know what happened with the D.R.E.
Yeah. Y'all know what this is. So can y'all make some noise for my man Snoop Dogg? Come on, louder, y'all, louder.
Chopped off by the mall, yeah, I'm burning it up.
So good. So
good.
good. Did you like play those songs afterwards? I did. I was like, you know what, that is also my jam. Let me get that in the list to go to.
Definitely.
Queuing it up on the playlist. So thanks y'all for talking about our halftime show. Now we are going to go into segments, and Andrea has something pretty awesome that she's going to talk about today.
I do. Okay, so you actually gave me a wonderful segue. So when we are ready, I want my intro music, but we're gonna talk about something good. So plays my intro music. You know, I'm on the show so rarely that I really appreciate having an intro. So I like to milk it. Okay, so let's talk about the halftime shows over the course of time. Ooh, these look so good, producer Jasmine. If you all could have seen the slides that I sent to Jasmine, they were white and black. White lines, black letters. That was it. These look so nice. All right, so what I did a little YouTube sleuthing to see what the counts are. So I was going to ask you all, how many views on YouTube? Now, this is the official NFL channel. How many views on YouTube do you think that the 2016 performer, which was Coldplay and it was featuring Beyonce, the 2018 performer, who was Justin Timberlake, and then Maroon 5's performer, like his performance, how many views have they had? And that's on the official channel. So Coldplay featuring Beyonce. And that's been out for 4 years. What is this? 5 years? 6, however long is it? 6 years.
It's actually like 8 years ago.
Perfect.
Is it?
No, it was 6 years. You're right. It was 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the NFL really messed that up.
But yeah, I know. So this is how I'm going because it's Beyonce. So there's 7 million people or 7 billion people in the world. So I'm going to say probably like at least 1 billion people watched the 2016 performance with Coldplay and Beyonce.
Now, only on YouTube though. So they rewatched on, these are views on YouTube. 1 billion people on
1 billion people.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right. What about Justin Timberlake? What do you guys think? So is he has 1 billion? What do you have, Heather? For each one of them. Just pick a number.
400 million.
400 million for Beyonce or Justin? JT?
For Justin.
Yeah.
400 million. Okay. All right. Maroon 5. That's recent. What y'all think?
Maybe 100 million.
I'm going to say like 300 million.
Okay. All right. Next slide, please. We'll keep that up. Let's see what we have here. I think you all might be really really shocked. I know. So these are
a
like
lot of people.
It's still a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. Think about that. Now, we're going to go more recent years. Let's go to The Weeknd and J-Lo. So 2 years ago, J-Lo and Shakira had 225 million up to this. And this was as of, I think, 2 days ago. So 225 million views from the time that it was uploaded until now. The Weeknd, only 46 million views from the time it was uploaded until now. That's it. So the difference between that is very striking. So 225 million took 2 years to get that many views, 46 million. And that was 1 year ago. How many views do you think that this year's in the last 3 days, it was like, because again, I did it like 2 days ago. So how in 3 days, how many views do you think the halftime video had?
I'm going to say 300 million.
Oh, that's a lot. 400 million. And they might get there.
They might get there.
They may get there, but so far they have had, I believe it's 50 million views. And that's as incredible. Of a few days ago. And that's in days. Days, 50 million views. That's insane. That's how popular it was. So what's the moral of the story? Let's talk about the moral of the story. The moral of the story is, everybody do you. So Dr. Dre headlined the show. He's 56, y'all. Mary J. Blige is 51. Snoop is 50. Eminem is 49. 50 Cent is 46. And the youngest person, like Kendrick Lamar, is 34. And that's not what I would call super young. So I would just remind all of you out there, greatness takes a while. Whatever you're doing, stick with it. And sometimes the recognition comes, decades later. But most importantly, it's never too late.
Hey, that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was
great.
I think it was the visuals. I think that our producer did a good job making it look real good. Because what I sent was not that good looking, but hopefully the message is what carries, and it's the same.
Yeah. Too. No, I was talking with my friends about this Super Bowl because they were like, oh, I feel like all of the halftime shows are like older artists. Like, I feel like they need to get newer artists. And I was like, well, who do you think is watching the Super Bowl? Like, nobody's watching the Super Bowl is going to want to see anybody who just came up like a year or two ago because they're not going to know who they are. I was like, honestly, this year's Super Bowl halftime show lineup is probably on the same line as like Beyonce or Shakira and J-Lo, because it's like people that a lot of the audience has known and will know for a while.
Yeah, and a lot of crossover appeal, right? Like, Izzy, I'm sure your mom, since we're the same age, your mom and me, we would know these artists, but you know them as a result of that too, because they've been around forever. So you would know who they are. So just
I was grown up with my dad. My dad was a huge Eminem fan, very big Eminem fan.
Yes. So. Great music coming out of Detroit. All right. Thanks, Heather.
That conversation was a field goal. So thank you. So next we're going to go to our other co-host, Isabell, and we're going to take a trip. It's going to be great. I look forward to hearing the trip.
So for this week's Super Bowl episode, we're actually going to take a trip through the Super Bowl stadiums. I really think that where the Super Bowl is played is almost as important, if not as important, as who's playing at the Super Bowl and who's playing the Super Bowl halftime show.
Good story. Also, let's take a pause for Isabell's other job, a taxi driver.
Yeah. So fun fact, the SoFi Stadium, which is where this Super Bowl was held, this most recent one, is actually the most expensive sports stadium venue in the world, estimated at $5.5 billion.
So that was the cost to build it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. The estimated cost at that, estimated. We don't know the for realsies, which that concerns me a little bit, because I feel like if you're doing your job right, you should have all your receipts, all your confirmations with your vendors. But yeah, so estimated $5.5 billion, and it is one of the greatest stadiums ever. So only 2 teams have ever played the Super Bowl at their home stadium. The LA Rams being one of them this past Super Bowl, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, ironically, last year in Florida. So Yeah, that's if you think about how long the Super Bowl has been going on for and the fact that only 2 teams have played the Super Bowl at their home stadium, it's kind of crazy. And we'll actually go a little bit more into that in a second. Another fun fact has never snowed during a game taking place in an outdoor stadium. Never. Granted, nowadays it gets a little bit, we kind of build for the weather now, just like the SoFi Stadium is completely indoors. A lot of football stadiums are now, a lot of sports stadiums in general they're moving towards indoor, or the nice thing, which I think the SoFi Stadium is actually an indoor-outdoor venue. I think they can open it up to be both an outdoor and an indoor venue, which also insane. But yeah, it's never snowed during a game. Actually, I think the coldest it's only ever gone to like 39, surprisingly, during a Super Bowl game. So that's interesting. And then Miami is actually the city to have hosted the most Super Bowls. They have hosted 11 in total. So go Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
Yes. And speaking of which, I was so curious on how they choose which stadium hosts the Super Bowl, because I always thought it was really weird that like it wasn't automatically one of the teams that was playing the Super Bowl. So up until 2018, the way that they decided the Super Bowl, obviously weather was slightly a deciding factor. It really only mattered if it was an outdoor stadium, but that is something that they took into consideration. Narrowing down based on bids. So they did bidding, and then they would narrow it down to the highest bidders. So the owners of these stadiums would bid. And then if you were a finalist, then you had to offer a presentation. And a lot of these presentations are apparently up to 600 pages to then convince the 32 team owners that your stadium is where the Super Bowl should be held. However, recent years, it's pretty much like almost like a lottery system. Like they kind of just cycle through, especially since, the stadiums are getting bigger and bigger, just like the SoFi Stadium. So they have a little bit more of a control on, hey, I think we should have the Super Bowl here. Plus, there's also a lot of Super Bowl stadiums in the country that are they might get kicked under the rug here soon because they're kind of getting a little worse for wear. And so they've either got to, build a new one or make some repairs because it just can't stand up to the standards of sports stadiums now, which I think just astronomical. So yeah, that was a little bit of information on the Super Bowl stadiums.
Fabulous. I don't have another football pun, but great job. Field goal, I don't know.
No, at least she didn't drop the ball. You know,
hey,
such a good job.
Hey, that was a touchdown.
Fantastic.
Bad jokes.
Thank you so much to my wonderful co-hosts and everyone out there. Special thanks to Jasmine, who produced this show today. We hope to see all y'all again. We stream every Friday at 4:00. You can find us at the AAP YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn page. If you can't make it then, no worries. We always repost our content to our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page. Thanks, everyone, and have a great Friday. Bye.
Bye.